Hi, I'm Di with Sister Chicks Quilting, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, I am going to be making an Easter themed 3-yard quilt. I'm going to show you the fabric I've chosen right up front. But first, I want to let you know, if you stick around to the end of the video, I have something to show you. Do you remember my 3-yard quilt that was pink and navy blue with little mermaids and starfish? This is all the fabric I have left because I believe this is the binding. I have it quilted and I'm going to have it bound, and I'll show it to you at the end of the video. I know everybody's always asking, show what you finished, so I'm doing it for you. Let's get started with this quilt. I have a friend with a small family. She has the cutest house, and she asked me if I wouldn't make her an Easter quilt that goes along with her farmhouse style decor. I said, sure. Then I went looking for fabric. Oh my gosh. Everything was bright and fluorescent, pastel, very popular colors. And I was just about to give up when I walked down the flannel aisle, and look what caught my eye. Look at those bunnies. Are they just the cutest? And then this was the second piece I found. Oh my gosh. The carrots are killer. Now it's a 3-yard quilt, and I needed 3 yards, and you want them to be 3 different kinds of fabric. Look what the clerk helped me find. Can you believe it? Those are cabbage leaves, and they're the same color as the bunny. I am so excited about this quilt. It's going to be adorable. Now, I don't have a free pattern on this one. I just couldn't do stars on this. It wasn't working out. So I went to my Donna Robertson's 3-yard pattern book that I bought, and this is her Fast and Fun 3-yard quilts. And actually, the quilt I'm making is right here on the cover. It's called Garden Path, and I chose it because this is like a garden, right? In fact, Mr. McGregor's garden, don't you think? Only this guy isn't Peter Rabbit, but he'll do. Let's get started on that quilt. So this pattern is really made from squares, rectangles, and strips. And we all love strip piecing because it's so fast, right? But strip piecing has its issues. And sometimes you can end up with your piece sewn and you're coming along and there might be a bow in it, there might be a little stretch in it. I'm going to talk to you about cutting out your strips carefully. The best thing you can do to avoid that and to have nice even strips is to use the tips I'm going to tell you. We're going to start by squaring up our piece of fabric and using the selvage to do that. So this is my selvage end right here. And fortunately, this one is really even. I mean, it was folded even on the bolt and everything. I'm thrilled with how even it is. So what I've done is line the selvage up along the edge of my ruler. And then I'm going to get, don't try and do a small ruler on this. Get your big 24-inch ruler. And I'm going to go right to the edge and square this up, trim off a little piece here like this. Pick it up, throw it away, and now we have a straight edge here and a straight edge here. Now, if your fabric isn't straight like mine, you want to press it. You may have to press a different fold in the top, but press it so the selvages meet the selvages, and you may have a lot more to cut off because sometimes they come crooked. But the next tip I'm going to teach you is how to cut these. So I'm going to flip this over now that I have a nice straight edge. And I know it's straight. And I have it on the angle. Why? Because my mats are old and falling apart. I need to get new mats. I'm going to make sure there's no folds in it. And I'm going to use my ruler to cut my strip. You lay the edge of the ruler right along the edge of your cut line, like so, and slice it off, and you should have a really nice straight strip. And you can hold here, but I like to hold up here. I am using a Quilter's Select ruler. They're incredible, right? They are some of the best because they have this coating on the back that doesn't stick. With those tips, you're going to have some nice straight strips. And the last thing you want to do, let your machine do the heavy lifting and let it pull it through. Do not stretch when you sew your strips. Before I sew these strips together, I want to show you my strips at the fold, because sometimes if I'd cut these wrong, that's where it would have been just slightly wonky. And here on the carrot strip, it is very straight as well. So I have my straight strips, and the next task is to make some strip sets. But before I do, I am going to turn my stitch down to 1.5. It's a smaller stitch, and the reason I'm doing that is because we're going to be cutting these strip sets like this, and I want those to not come apart. So we're going to sew them with a smaller seam. These are my strip sets, and I've got them subcut into these units like so, and we're going to put them together to make a block B or whatever, you know how they have them in patterns. But I wanted to show you something. Look at this. Can you see that tight stitch on the end? And watch, I'm tugging on it. It is not going anywhere. So I recommend running a tighter stitch when you're working on strip sets, if you're going to be slicing them up like this. It will save you grief later on down the road. I want to show you the unit that I'm going to be making for this quilt. It's really rather simple, but here's a tiny little dilemma that I'm going to not even be upset about, and I'm just going to acknowledge it. I have a directional print here. The carrots are all going up and down. And what you do is you have to put these on opposite corners. And to do that, you're going to have two that are together, one that's not. I don't think it's even going to show, because when you stand back and squint at the block, what you see are the carrots going this way, and you see greenery. I think it's going to be a nothing burger. I'm going to chain piece these units together. That way, when I'm done, I can use my blade saver, because that's fun to use. This is my finished unit, and I'm taking this piece and putting it right sides together and sewing it on. So we'll have a 9.5 inch by 9.5 inch square block. And when these are finished, we'll assemble the quilt. This is always one of my favorite parts of quilt construction, because you're making blocks and you're scratching your head. We're going to see it go together right before our eyes. Isn't that cute? I have to tell you, I'm looking at it on the camera and up close, and I do like it up close better. This is going to look so cute on my friend's couch. This is the border I'm putting on right here, and it is 54.5 inches wide. Now I got that number by measuring this outside edge, the opposite outside edge, and the center. And they all were between 54.25 and 54.5. So that's what I chose, was 54.5. I have my border strip, as you can see. I have them all aimed so the carrots they're directional. So I have all of my carrots going towards the quilt. That's where this pin is telling me right there. That's the center of this border. The center of the border on the quilt is 3 blocks down because it's 6 blocks tall right on the center seam. So what I'm going to do is take this and line it up the way I want it to go on, and I'm going to pin it. Pop in a pin, go all the way to the end, keeping this border straight. There, now this border is straight, and I'm going to go all the way to the end of the quilt and pop in a pin there. It just occurred to me that in quilting we pop a lot of pins. Then I'm going to go to the center of the quilt, kind of pull it out. 1, 2, 3 blocks. This is the center right here, and I'm going to pin it. And then I have this piece here, and I'm going to hold it by the center and the end, and I'm just going to kind of stretch it. I'm not going to stretch it tight. I'm just going to make it taut. And if you take a look, that fits right in there. So I'm going to pin that down. I hear the engineer who just came in. He is working on a project for me in the shop, ladies. I'm so excited. It's for my next video, so I can't tell you what he's doing. All right. So you put as many pins as you feel is going to work. And when I pin on a border, I probably do it a little bit heavier than normal pinning. And if there's a little bit of give, like on this one, I just stretch it a tad, holding it in the middle, and spread that extra give out. And this one looks like it's perfect. Then when you have both sides pinned on, you take it to your machine and you sew a 1/4 inch seam. There, I've been proper with you now. I'm going to sew the top on, and then I'm going to meet you at the design wall and show you this. So this quilt turned out to be 46 inches wide by 63.5 inches long. I did sew with scant 1/4 inch seams, and the pattern says it should be 45 by 63. Hey, I think I did really good. This is going to be the binding. I'm excited about that. And I did tell you I have something to show you. Let me get it. I think you're really going to like it. And as I promised, this is the 3-yard quilt that I made for under $20 for the top and the binding. For your information, the backing was on sale, half price at Hobby Lobby. So I probably have maybe $45 into this quilt because the batting was scraps. I quilted it in pink thread with mermaids. Let's make sure you can see a mermaid here. There's one. Cute, isn't it? This is a little girl's dream quilt. I just want to say thank you for tuning into my channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for supporting it with your likes and your comments. That's fantastic too. Next week I have another fun video for you, and I can't wait till then. Bye.